Okay, so here's a good check. The air-fuel ratio is showing at idle about 15.3. I'm gonna test the system, and when I do that, it's gonna richen the air-fuel ratio. And now you know the methanol is kicking in. And now, if we watch the gauge, we can see if it's reading boost. And the gauge is. Hi everybody, welcome back to Dave's World. So if you've been following along on my build series, you know that I've been putting a bigger turbo into this Jetta. And I'm at the point where my friend is going to take the car back, and I've been road testing it quite a bit. While I've been driving the car around, I noticed that no matter what I do, I just cannot get the air conditioning to work. When I originally started putting this turbo in, it was the winter, and the heat was working perfectly fine, and now that it's summer, I'm trying to switch over to the air conditioning, and it's like the heat is always on. From what I can tell online, most of the issues with the heat and AC are the blend door foam basically disintegrates. You basically fix the problem by disassembling the entire dashboard, getting down to the blend doors, and then covering those doors again with something hard like a sheet metal tape or some sort of, glue-on piece. In this situation, I actually have a different problem, so what I'm going to do is show you the footage of me disassembling the dashboard, identifying what is wrong, coming up with a fix, and then today what I'm going to do is put everything back together and we'll talk about it, and then go over garage updates after I finish showing you the footage. So I'm going to show you that footage right now. I don't know if this is the way to do this, but I don't see any other way to get in and out. I just wanted to show you guys that there's a little bolt right here that you have to get to from up here and go straight back. You see where my finger is? And you have to go straight back into here to get to it. Okay, so I'm using a 1/4 inch ratchet with a flexible extension, and I'm able to get to that bolt from the front. I had to definitely get this bolt on a very weird angle with the flexible extension. I read online there was some weird clip in the back. My hand is too big to fit back there. Oh, maybe not. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna try and show you this. This Jetta doesn't have the typical foam that fell apart on the blend door. This is what happened. I'm gonna move the blend door. You see this arm that's just moving? This arm is supposed to be attached to the blend door. So on this car, the blend door is fine, but the part that actually moves the door popped out. It doesn't look broken, but it doesn't look like it's not broken. I have no idea just yet, but I'm gonna see if I can get this duct out of the way and then figure out how that reattaches. Maybe I can just pop it back in there, I don't know. I'm gonna mess around with it for a little bit. Okay, I just wanna show you guys my hands and my arm. It is chewed up. This is what you're gonna go through getting to these pieces inside the HVAC system. But this is what broke on this car. It seems to have popped off of the blend door. I think I can just glue this back on, but it's a little bit of a pain in the butt getting to the blend door. When I come up with a solution, I'll start filming again, but for right now, I wanted to at least get to this point. I wanted to diagnose what was wrong. Okay, I had to think about this for a few. What I'm going to be using is some two-stage epoxy. This is called plastic weld. I've used it on a couple things. I've actually bonded some stuff on the Cobra with it. I've bonded metal to the fiberglass for some support pieces. So what I want to do is mix up some, put it inside here, and slide it into the bottom of the door and let it bond and let it sit for a day. And then I'll finish putting everything back together. Unfortunately, getting this back in the car is going to have to be done by feel. You have to actually feel for the door, get the door in the position for this slot to go in, and then pop it up in place and let it sit. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Alright guys, what I'm doing first is I'm sticking my finger up inside where the door is, and I'm lining it up by hand. And then what I'm going to do is put that two-stage epoxy on the arm and slide it up faster. Actually, I felt it go right onto the door. Perfect. Alright, I'm going to leave this here until tomorrow. We'll pick up where I left off tomorrow, and I'll give you a closer look on the arm. Okay, so it's the next day, and what I want to do is show you the location of the arm that I had to put back in. It's right here. This arm physically fell out, and I had to actually pop it up, and it seems like it worked pretty good. It's in there pretty solid. So now all I need to do after finagling this thing is to put this little spring piece on for the cable. Hopefully I can just do it. I have these really long needle nose pliers. I'm going to try and sneak them in there and squeeze that spring on. Cool. Okay, I went and grabbed the keys. I want to start the car up and test the AC real quick. Sorry, the car has tinted windows, so it'll be a little dark, but I want to run the air conditioning with the doors closed. Oh, I actually hear it changing now. Yep. Air conditioning's working. Much better. Much, much better. I don't know if you can hear it on camera, but now I can actually hear the door change. Yeah, you can hear it now. Yeah, you can hear and feel it switch now. That's exactly what we want. And now the air conditioning is working. That's definitely exciting. So now we have a finished KO4 swap. We have a working air conditioning, and the other problem we have is the radio doesn't shut off whenever this door opens. I think something's going on with the door switch. So that might be a video I do in the future. It might be just something I fix for him. And then I do like to go over garage updates. So stuff coming up is I have the 1965 Mustang resto mod that I'll be starting. You guys might be seeing footage up of the 4.6 liter that I disassembled, so I can redo it and put that into the 65 Mustang. The wide body Corvette project, if you guys have been following along, I appreciate it. That car's been a little bit stressful, but luckily I figured out the direction I want to take it. And then stay tuned for the cruise. I'm trying to find a company that has a big turbo for that car, and specifically a company that can tune it. I'm thinking about Bad News Racing maybe. And then as far as Jetta updates, I know I have a lot of videos out on the KO4 swap, but I wanted to kind of be in depth about it. I'm noticing in the summer with this car, now the temperatures are warmer, the intake temperatures are really hot. And, you know, driving a turbocharged car, they like the cool better than they like the heat. So we're going to add methanol injection. Methanol injection will decrease the intake temperatures upwards of like 100 degrees. So sometimes you can drop your temperatures down to like 50 degrees, which even in the summer, the car will feel like it's driving in the winter. So you'll always have maximum horsepower. So that's another project we're going to be doing to this car. I kind of mentioned it to my friend because I thought it was important. I run it on my Corvette because in the summer, the car actually has such hot intake temperatures that I would get stuck places where I would shut the car off and the pistons would swell and actually stop the engine from being able to crank, and have to wait for the car to cool down. So I don't want that to happen to him on this car. Not that he needs it, but I noticed in the summer, now the temperature's much warmer, you could actually noticeably feel a horsepower difference, and I wanted to get that horsepower back for him. So at all times throughout the year, he has a perfect running car, and he doesn't have to call me basically like, what's going on, why am I having this problem? So I recommended doing that. So stay tuned for that footage, and thanks again for all the support, everybody. I really appreciate you checking out Dave's World, and I appreciate everybody who likes and subscribes, and I appreciate everybody who gives me feedback on my videos. Have a nice day, everybody.